How are we even here? Félix da Costa does not have a confirmed seat yet in Formula E. This is like big news. I don't know why anyone else isn't making a lot of noise. And some will say he's too old, but he is a world champion and there are 5 seats available. So I'm just mad because I absolutely love Félix da Costa. I think he's a great driver, and I think if he doesn't get into season 12 this year, I'll be really miffed. But welcome to Formula E Unscripted. I've got my pad with a few notes on what's been going on in the month, or the last month or so in Formula E before the season starts, getting, really ramped up in November to go lights out in December. So this is Formula E Unscripted. Okay, so where do we start? Well, there are 5 unconfirmed seats or seats available in Formula E at the moment. There are 2 at Cooper-Kiro, there are 2 at Porsche and 1 at Jaguar. So these 5 seats, we still don't know who's rumoured to take them. I'll go with an easy option. I do think Cooper-Kiro will probably sign their drivers from last year because they were decent enough and the team is just bedding in quite well. I just think it's a contractual thing. Although I do think instead of Beckman, we could go for Jake Hughes in that seat because obviously with Maserati replacing their drivers, it's one of those where I think actually we're going to lose some good talent if Hughes leaves the sport. And the problem is we've gone from 22 slots to 20. So unlike Formula 1, which have gained 2 seats, we've lost 2 seats. And it's quite a painful experience when you have a lot of talent on the field. So Maserati have gone. Remember, they are no longer a thing. We now have Citroën, who have taken Cassidy from Jaguar, which is why one of the seats is freed up. And John-Eric Verner's taken that second seat there as well. So that's why Jake Hughes is out, and we've sort of got a newest team. It's a new branding. I'm really sad because I called Maserati the Williams of Formula E. I love the blue they went for. I think they had a really nice, different colour scheme to everyone else last year because in Formula E, we tend to get a lot of reds and purples and mainly reds, actually, when you think about it in teams, where in most sports you tend to get a lot of blues. But that's, one of those. In terms of the Jaguar seat, this is where I'm hoping Félix da Costa ends up. I think this is a great team for him. Remember, Félix da Costa is a recent world champion, so it feels fit for him to actually, still be on the grid. Some say he's probably past his time, but I think with Formula E there is less pressure on more rookies coming up because the majority of them will come from Formula 2, which most of them inspire to get into Formula 1, and they can take the sideways step to get into our all-electric racing series. So to me, I think he's got a very good place in Jaguar. It's actually my local team, I guess, if you could call it that. So I'd be absolutely buzzing to have him there. I think Jaguar were good last year. I think they're decent point scorers. And they certainly give a good run for the title every once in a while. Porsche, on the other hand, obviously that's where da Costa has just come from. Who's going to fill that second seat? Because even though it's not been confirmed, it'd be silly for them to get rid of Pascal Wehrlein. He is a very talented driver. He is also not this year's world champion, but he is last year's world champion with Porsche. He fits in that outfit very well. Second seat wise, I made some notes, and I actually think, if you think about it, Stoffel Van Dorn is a decent driver. He's again also one without a seat due to Maserati changing to Citroën. So that's one of those ones where I think he's good enough to fit into that team. I think it would be quite a good combination between those two. I think he's had some quiet seasons, so I think he could handle the pressure of Porsche, which is my biggest problem with Porsche, is they are literally a kettle and it just boils and boils and boils to the point where they're very similar to just the top team in motorsport, where it's just all about results and making sure that you score high. And I think that's what causes their downfall in some of the seasons. Lola have kept their drivers, Di Grassi and Zane Maloney. They have kept their seats for this season. Why rock the boat before Gen 4? So I'm hoping they have a better season because they've been on the lower end of the seasons recently. So it would be good to see them back in the midfield. Along with Andretti, they have assigned Felipe Drugovich, so he can say goodbye to that reserve seat that he clearly was not getting used for in Formula 1, so it's good to have him full time. He was great in Germany last year, or this season. I always get my seasons modelled up with it being half and half over years. But it's good to see Felipe Drugovich, good saying, Felipe Drugovich back onto the grid, well, not onto the grid, but here permanently, because again, another talent from Formula 2, who obviously wanted to get into Formula 1, but with those seats being the way they are, some hold out, but actually I think this is going to do him really well. He is probably a future Formula E champion, don't hold me to that, but he has the talent, and he is obviously the fresh up-and-comings. DS Penske, they obviously have signed Taylor Barnard, because with McLaren disappearing from the sport, this is how we got to 20 seats. He was probably not only the best rookie, but probably the best of the rest. I would say, he was, I think, in the top 4 going into London, which is unheard of for rookies. That's, it's not normal, but it's good to see. And I was sad because if he lost his seat, we think we'd lose him from the sport, so it's good to see that he's gone to DS Penske, which of course last year did very well. I think he'll bed into that team. He's no longer a rookie, so it'll be good to see what he can do. The biggest news on my list, though, is ITV have renewed their licence for Formula E till 2027. And I think if you calculate this, that gives us 2 seasons, and I'm probably talking more on the UK market here, but that means that Formula E is free to watch as long as you have a TV licence. But it is technically not behind a paywall, so that's good for the sport as it's still growing. You want the fans to be able to access it. That was that big hoo-ha last month with Formula 1 when everyone was saying, well, actually they prefer to watch the highlights. Is Formula 1 boring? And it really boils down to the fact that you have to spend, I think, like £40 a month or illegally stream it to enjoy Formula 1. So I think that's kind of what that point was. But for Formula E to be accessible, especially in the UK where there's a lot of sports fans, to be able to watch it on ITV is fab. And if you have a subscription, you can even download the races and watch them abroad when you can't keep up with the races over the summer period. So, and I had to do that, so that's how I know it. But yeah, that's kind of the news. I just wanted to give a little rundown. As you can see, that's... I was going to scrumple it up and say, there you go, that's this news done. But as it's unscripted, I'm not going to retake anything. But yeah, that is the latest in the Formula E news. I'm very excited for the season. I can't wait to see what some of the cars look like, if there's going to be some changes. Obviously, Citroen are going to look really different. I imagine it's going to be probably very similar to the white and red scheme that other cars have, but hopefully they do something different. I imagine Porsche will still be purple. I think it looked really nice that year. This is the old Porsches over here, which was a good colour scheme, but again, look, it's red and white, and this is my point where they all look the same. Not as dusty as that one. So, and obviously we've lost a blue car, so yeah, let's see what they do. Maybe like a matte grey with the red and the white accents. It'd be interesting to see. So I really want a Formula E video game, or them to put it on to maybe like Gran Turismo, where we can spec out some of the cars on livery editors, because I think it's such a unique shaped car. They have teased Gen 4 today, just with a front wing, and it looks a lot more like defined or curvier. I think I've just done an oxymoron there, but yeah, I'm excited to see what Gen 4's got. More on the spec sheet though. Like, I don't care how the cars look, because aerodynamically they're not that important to me. The specs of how far it goes and what it's going to bring to the EV world is the big one. So, but yeah, that is Formula E Unscripted. Let us know in the comments section below what you think is going to happen between now and lights out, and what, who's going to take those seats, because obviously my opinions are my opinions. I'm fairly new to the sport. I know the boys at the on the other channels will probably have something else to say, but yeah, it's going to be a good season, I think. If they keep it similar to last year or last season, I've got to get used to that. We're going to have a great time, because I think that the four-wheel drive just brought so much in those overtakes to the point where some were complaining there was too many, but I don't believe you can have too many overtakes. So let us know what you think, and we'll see you in another video.